It's taken over 40 years, but Star Wars is working its way up to Episode 9 at long last. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things that need to happen in Star Wars Episode 9.
Let the past die. Kill it.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at plot points and character arcs we hope to see explored in the final entry in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. If you're not caught up on all the Star Wars movies yet, consider this your spoiler alert.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down. Come on!
Number 10. New Force Powers.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
With the Force finally awakened, The Last Jedi was able to evolve the Star Wars mythos to another frontier. The film introduced several new Force powers, the most prominent of which was demonstrated during Kylo Ren's showdown with Luke Skywalker. Prepared to strike his uncle down, Kylo is shocked to learn that Luke has used the Force to project his image across the galaxy. If the Force is capable of this, what else can it do? For that matter, will it be Rey, Kylo, or somebody else who unlocks the Force's full potential? In any case, more new Force powers could be a nice addition to Episode 9. Just leave the midi-chlorians out of it.
Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midi-chlorian count that high.
Number 9. Rey's parents. Rey's parentage was one of the most divisive plot points in The Last Jedi. Clouded in mystery, it's revealed that Rey's parents were junk traders who abandoned her. At least that's what Kylo Ren claims. On one hand, some fans were disappointed that Rey's parents aren't major characters from the Star Wars canon. On the other hand, this revelation plays into an empowering message that you can come from nothing and become something. Either way, it's still unclear if Rey's parents are really nobodies, or if Kylo was feeding off her insecurities. We hope Episode 9 gives us confirmation on Rey's bloodline, just as Return of the Jedi answered our lingering questions about Luke's father.
Do not underestimate the powers of the Emperor, or suffer your father's fate.
Number 8. Romances resolved.
I don't.
The Force Awakens seemed to be setting up a romance between Rey and Finn. Since these two are separated for much of The Last Jedi, however, they began to branch out with other potential love interests. Some shippers are still holding on to hope that Finn and Poe will become more than just friends. At this point though, Finn seems more likely to get together with Rose, assuming she recovers from that crash. Meanwhile, Rey's encounter with a shirtless Kylo Ren definitely turned the tension up a notch. Of course, Rey's brief introduction to Poe towards the end of the film could have been hinting at the beginning of a relationship that'll be explored in Episode 9. Number 7. Poe Stepping Up.
Can you fly a TIE fighter?
I can fly anything. Why? Why are you helping me?
Making his debut in The Force Awakens, Poe Dameron is described as the most daring pilot the Resistance has to offer.
That's one hell of a pilot!
Poe is given more of a character arc in The Last Jedi, as General Leia tries to teach him about leadership. With Leia's inevitable exit on the horizon, the Resistance will need another inspiring figure to keep hope alive. Poe might be the ideal candidate, as he's not only proven himself in battle, but has also come to understand what will keep the spark burning. The original Star Wars trilogy saw Han Solo evolve from a devil-may-care pilot to a natural leader, and Poe may follow the same path.
BB-8, punch it! That's got a kick!
Number 6. Lando Calrissian's return.
Welcome, I'm Lando Calrissian. I'm the administrator of this facility.
Lando Calrissian is one of the only major players from the original Star Wars trilogy who's yet to pop up in the sequel trilogy. Director Rian Johnson reportedly considered featuring Lando in The Last Jedi, but he was ultimately substituted with Benicio del Toro's DJ. We'd give anything for Billy D. Williams to reprise his role in Episode 9, whether he has a crucial role or a brief cameo.
That blast came from the Death Star.
So many great moments could come from Lando's return. He could mourn the loss of Han, reunite with Chewbacca, and step aboard the Millennium Falcon once more. Plus, the Resistance could use a veteran rebel on their side after suffering some heavy losses.
Here goes nothing.
Number 5. An appearance from the Knights of Ren. Throughout the sequel trilogy, the Knights of Ren have been mentioned in passing and briefly seen in flashbacks. However, we've yet to really see this enigmatic team of dark-side users in action. The First Order lost some key members in The Last Jedi, as Kylo Ren stabbed Supreme Leader Snoke in the back, and Captain Phasma seemingly fell to her demise. So now seems as good a time as any for Kylo to call upon the Knights of Ren and lead them in an assault against the Resistance. It'd be intriguing to see how Kylo works off the other Knights and what they can all accomplish as a collective unit.
Even you, Master of the Knights of Ren, have never faced such a test.
Number 4. Ghost Luke. The ending of The Last Jedi saw Luke becoming one with the Force, vanishing into thin air. Luke might be gone, but he can still play a significant role in Episode 9. In both The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi offered Luke advice from beyond the grave. Yoda popped up in The Last Jedi to help push Luke back in the right direction. There's no reason why Luke couldn't appear as a Force ghost going forward, helping Rey take her final steps toward becoming a full-fledged Jedi. This would be especially welcome since the dynamic between Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley was a highlight of the previous Star Wars film.
What do you see?
Number 3, balance brought to the Force.
Without the Jedi, there can be no balance in the Force.
The Jedi and Sith's contrasting ideologies of good and evil have continually pushed people to extremes, causing history to repeat itself. Perhaps finding a middle ground is the only way to truly bring balance to the Force. This ties into the theory that Rey will become a gray Jedi, walking a path between the light and dark sides of the Force. Episode 9 could also see Rey and Kylo Ren joining forces, bringing balance together.
You need a teacher! I could show you the ways of the Force!
The sacred Jedi text will likely factor into the equation as well, seeing as how they're in Rey's possession now. She might even use them to train the next generation of Force users, keeping old traditions alive while also creating new ideals.
Something inside me has always been there.
Number 2, a fitting end for Leia.
Rey, may the Force be with you.
Leia was originally meant to play a big role in Episode 9, but Carrie Fisher's untimely passing in 2016 forced the filmmakers to rethink their game plan. According to Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, Fisher won't be featured in the film. It's also been stated that they won't be taking the CGI route like in Rogue One.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
However they address Leia's absence, we can only hope that it's a tasteful, poignant, and bittersweet tribute to one of the galaxy's greatest heroines. Perhaps opening with a funeral for Leia would be the most appropriate way to send her off. While they're at it, a funeral for Han Solo would finally give us a chance to mourn that loss. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Go. Oversee preparations.
Yes, Supreme Leader.
Number 1, everything coming full circle.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Episode 9 won't just be the final chapter in the sequel trilogy, but will supposedly provide a link between all 3 Star Wars trilogies, bringing everything into balance. George Lucas once compared Star Wars to poetry, saying that the films rhyme.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
So it'd be incredibly fitting if Episode 9 found a way to weave elements of the sequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the divisive prequel trilogy into one package. Bringing 3 generations of blockbusters full circle is no easy task, but we have faith that the Force will be strong with this one.
This is not going to go the way you think.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.